Get back into position. There we go. Just close your eyes. I'll draw a little eye. Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Everyday Theology, where we're doing another Reddit thing. It's probably going to be our main content, TBH, but anyways.
Yeah. So, what are we discussing?
We're going to be delving into memories.
Mm-hmm.
Sad ones.
All those memories locked in your vault? Well, they're coming out.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, Internet, what do you got?
Okay. Well, I'm the a-hole for being mad at my husband for saying he would pick his deceased wife over me. Me, 34 female, and my husband, 37 male, was married once before me. She was his high school sweetheart. They started dating their junior year, survived long distance during college, and got married when they were both 23, very shortly after graduating college. She passed away unexpectedly at age 26 from an aneurysm, and it obviously devastated him, especially because they were extremely young. They never had children. He contemplated remarrying because he was so heartbroken, but we ended up meeting about 4 years after that. We got married when I was 31 and he was 34 and have 2 children. Last night we were at a friend potluck gathering. Everything was going well until one of our friends brought up a new topic that had to do with relationships. She is newly divorced, so it was about her divorce. Others were chiming in with past relationships from high school, college, etc. I had said I never thought I would get married because my luck with men has always been terrible until I met my husband, and I said I felt very lucky to have him. After a little while longer, my husband brings up his deceased wife. Everyone knows he was married before me and that she passed. He was talking about her and then drops a bomb and goes, "If she walked through that front door right now, I'd pick up where we left off." If I'm being honest, it felt like someone put my heart into a blender and punched me in the gut as hard as they could. Everyone in the room could sense the awkwardness that followed. To avoid making a scene, I just laughed it off, even though I think it was still obvious that it hurt me. I just felt that if you still felt that way, then why are we married? I've never asked him to get over his wife. I have never had a deceased spouse or even a deceased partner, so I'm unsure how that feels. But I would never say that in front of my new spouse. After the gathering, we left, and I did not speak to him the entire car ride home or barely the entire night. I did tell him that what he said hurt my feelings deeply and that we could talk in the morning once I've calmed down because I didn't want to say something mean to him. I ended up sleeping on the couch because he would not leave me alone. It's now the next morning and I barely slept. He is still sleeping. I'm not really sure what to say or what he will say. This also has an update, by the way.
Oh, it does?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know it did. Okay, well, let's start with that.
Yes.
Ouch. Man, that seems a little rough. I don't know. Okay, well, a couple things there.
That's hard.
That is hard. Yeah. We know someone who lost her husband young.
Mm-hmm.
That was, oh my goodness. Like, I can't even comprehend that. So, man, oh man. Actually, we've known a few families like that. So that's just the most heartbreaking thing you can imagine is like, it's hard enough, like, in a sense, being married and you're like, oh man, I hope we live like a long time with each other, and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then, cause there's all these kinds of fears that come in. You're like, oh, should we have kids? What if what if I die? What if you die? And it's like heartbreak, and all that kind of stuff. And you're never sure whether, but you're taking a leap of faith. You're like,
Yeah.
you know what? I'm just going to deal with the situation that presents itself. And so we operate in life like that, otherwise you would be too paralyzed to do anything at all. However, but this kind of situation is really tough. What would you say?
Like, I don't know what's their mindset where they're like, oh, I have to know that this person did have someone and they were really special to them, but I'm also going to be this next special person. Like, I don't know what happens, or like maybe it is something that you hope doesn't come up and doesn't get talked about, and then something like this happens and you're just all like,
yeah,
like, yeah, I know you cared about your last spouse, but that sucks.
Yeah, absolutely. It's tough with widows. the best situation usually for a widow to then find someone. Just grief is crazy. And it's like, well, in a sense, you're moving on, being dealt the worst hand that you can be dealt, like your
Yeah.
spouse dying. But yeah, I think one thing I would immediately say is a lot of understanding needs to be on her part.
Yeah.
Because like she just said, she's like, I've never had to deal with someone dying on me like that,
Yeah.
a spouse. And so obviously he's feeling emotions she's not acquainted with. And then on his part, he also needs to know that he's in a new family now,
Yeah.
and
That he needs to
that
understand
he
that.
did everything he could with the other one, but it's done, you know? And
Blank slate.
yeah, it's so hard for the surviving person to, you know, just pull away from that. It's like, hey, it's over. There's a time of grief, but when that time of grief is truly done, you
Mhm.
can't keep living in the past. And so if you're constantly like, oh man, if you're comparing your new wife with your old
Yeah.
wife,
See, I always
that's
think about that. I'm all
terrible.
like,
Yeah.
how do you divide that in your
Mhm,
mind? Because it's like,
mhm.
oh, my wife always used to fold the towels like this, or my late wife always used to
Yeah.
make smiley faces on my sandwich. I don't know. Like you, like for him, it's like that's definitely something he should never bring up.
Absolutely.
But I'm all
So,
like, I'm sure he can't help but do that in his mind,
yeah.
especially it's being someone that was like his first love,
Mhm.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
Sounds really
Yeah, that'd
hard.
be that'd be so hard. I don't really know what to say. um
I'm wondering what the update has to say.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Before we get there though, I'm just kind of thinking you're in a group setting. He was vulnerable. He was sharing, something about his first wife and all that kind of stuff. But then I think he let that go too far into where he probably shared some emotions that not only should he keep to himself, but he also should have um like squashed, because she's not going to come through the door. So just
Yeah.
like, why are you dwelling on something that's not reality?
Yeah. Well,
And
I mean,
and
and
he's saying something about his relationship that shouldn't be
Mhm.
said. Like, oh, I would just pick up where I left off. And
Yeah.
it's like, ooh, ouch. What we say?
Oh, I was just gonna say that um it would be hard to, because I can understand for him. It's just like that was someone that was really important to me,
Yeah.
and it's not gonna be like no, you shouldn't be constantly grieving that person, but that person's still gonna be on your mind.
Hmm.
But yeah, I wasn't right for him to
Yeah,
say that.
absolutely. And the other thing is, I don't know. We kind of play with a silly idea of like soulmates,
Yeah.
which is kind of silly and not really biblical. But anyway, um, just
They're
thinking on
not
that
your
though,
soulmate.
someone would think like if I was married, if I was married to you, we're married, um, and it's like a true love, right? But if for some reason you died,
Mhm.
it's not impossible that I would ever love somebody else. But just because we were like a perfect match
Mhm.
doesn't diminish my love for a future wife if you had died. So she's feeling, oh, you don't love me or you
Mhm.
love me less.
Right.
But that's not true. It's like,
The love's different.
yeah. It's just like if you loved your grandpa and he died, and then you'd be like,
And then I got a new grandpa.
no, no, no.
Oh.
It's like, you know,
That'd be weird. Not gonna lie. Yeah. Stuff
it's
like that.
like
I don't know.
you're like, "Oh, grandma, I really miss grandpa." And she's like, "Oh, so you don't love me?" It's like, "No, I can love more than one person at the same time."
Yeah.
So my love for you isn't any less
The
than
different
the
kinds of
love for
love.
the other person,
Yeah.
you know. So, yeah, I don't know. It's hard with a spouse though, because you're like, "Well, who do
Yeah.
you prefer,
I
me
can
or them?" And it's
understand
just like, "Well, I'm not
there
going to put it
being
that
some
way."
like slips and stuff in the relationship like
Mhm.
this, because this is like that's just part of being human. It's just like,
Mhm.
oh yeah, I really miss my dead wife. And yeah, if she walked through the door, I'd totally choose her. And it's just all like that wouldn't happen, but still, it's probably something he probably thinks about,
Mhm.
which is sad for her because then she's just like, I want you to be able to move on, but I still understand that she was a part of your life. Just
Mhm.
like people with exes, they're like, oh, you still talk to your ex? Red flag,
Yeah.
kind of thing. But this is different. And yeah, like you were kind of saying, it's like requires a lot of understanding and
Mhm.
compassion, I think, on both parts.
Yeah. So right now, this had happened 11 years. Yeah, 11 years before. So she had died 11 years before.
Um,
So I don't know. It's like, yeah, I don't know. A lot of that stuff I'm sure is going to surface throughout the relationship. Just kind of saying it's going to crop up.
yeah.
All right. Well, let's hear that update now that we're all
Yeah.
sad.
And I'm like, this may be a long
Oh, real
one.
quick. Let's hope that divorce
Oh,
isn't the first reaction that they jump to.
seriously. They're all like, yeah, he said that. It's over.
Yeah. So if you've listened
Divorce
to their other stuff, you'll know that divorce apparently is the first
is
run to.
always,
So let's just
yeah,
hope that it's not going to be like, okay,
hopefully
yeah, we
not.
divorce.
Hopefully they just worked it out.
Yeah.
This may be a long one. I also tried to reply to as many comments as I could, but they were flooding in and I got a bit overwhelmed. May still try to read and reply to them. Many brought me to joyous and grateful tears. Also, alcohol was not involved in the sense that he wasn't drunk. My husband is 6'3" and almost 250 pounds. He has eaten quite a bit and had one beer. He was practically sober. Anyway, we talked. I asked him to let me go first and to not interrupt. He doesn't usually interrupt, anyways. This isn't verbatim, just a rough sketch of how things went. I also included points some of you made without mentioning I posted about this, of course. Me, I just want to say that I do not hate you for what you said. I understand where you were coming from. She died and it was something neither of you saw coming. I can never ask you to get over her or to forget her because I know how much you loved her. She was your first love. I do understand that if she hadn't passed, we likely would not be together, and you two likely would be. I have always understood this, but to say what you said hurt my feelings and embarrassed me. And even though her coming back from the dead is impossible, if it were, you would leave me and the children. It was probably one of the worst things anyone has ever said to me. It
Mm.
is clear your feelings about her are still raw and it still hurts. And I want you to get counseling and I want couples counseling very, very soon. He then apologized profusely, teared up, and said how he did not mean to hurt me and embarrass me in front of our friends. He basically said he thought about it before he went to sleep and came to the realization that he should have kept it to himself. I mean, I can't be angry for what he thinks. He loved her and she died. His feelings are also valid here. Also said that he would never leave me and the children, and that what he said was just a poorly thought out and poorly worded statement. That he was not thinking clearly, and when he said it, he immediately felt that maybe it came out wrong. I asked him how he would feel if I said that to him. He says, yeah, it's bad. I know. I shouldn't have said it. I wouldn't be happy. I know you aren't happy. I should have apologized in front of everyone as soon as I said it, or should not have said it at all. I then asked him to think of the children and said, it's like you're saying, hey, children's name, if my dead wife walked through the door, I'd pack my bags and never speak to you guys again. And then it really got uncomfy. After some silence, I had no idea what to say after that. He asked me if I wanted to divorce.
Oh my gosh, there it is.
So I asked him why he would think I would want a divorce just to see what he would say. He says he doesn't know. I didn't answer his question and said we needed to look into counseling. Then he needed to get counseling for himself and that we would go to couples counseling. And if the answer is no, I'm not interested in moving forward. This is 100% about the this isn't 100% about the comment anymore. I need to know if he is willing to make the necessary changes to put in the work to fix what he messed up. Because if he were to dismiss my feelings and not want counseling, it means he doesn't think this was that serious and that he may not take me seriously. I also said this to him. Some of the comments also told me to take the kids elsewhere. I agreed with this because it would be difficult to get through this while also parenting. I've got a very young daughter and a son that is a toddler. They are currently with my parents for the weekend, and I'll be getting them Sunday night. So this gives us time to really work. He suggested he sleep on the couch instead of me. I have nowhere else to go. I haven't told my parents because I really would like to keep this between me and him as much as possible. Family and friends jump to judge too fast and sometimes offer extreme and harmful advice, and it's also embarrassing. Luckily, we both have very good insurance that will help with counseling. I told him that it seems like whatever counseling he got after her death was not enough and that he was not consistent with it like he should have been. With trauma like that, I personally would have been in counseling for years before I even considered remarrying. He agreed. He was only in it for about a year and then stopped once he moved away from his hometown, never got back to it. He also agreed to the individual and couples counseling, kept apologizing, kept telling me he loved me all day. It was also so difficult to be around him because he kept looking at me. I couldn't think. It was like he would try to say something and then he would just stare and not say anything. With the kids gone, there's nothing to really do except talk. So we talked again right before dinner time. He asked me if I wanted him to cook or buy something. I was still not hungry, to be honest, so I just told him he could pick something up for himself and that I wasn't hungry, and that prompted the second discussion. Realized he must feel very bad because he noticed I hadn't really eaten much all day. Kept asking me to eat. I wasn't sulking too bad or anything. Just doing my usual tasks, but not speaking or eating as much. And because we're home together all day, he noticed this. Asked me one more time to please eat dinner with him, so I agreed. During dinner, he told me that he looked for counselors himself and wanted me to see if I thought they were okay enough and that he would keep looking. Last stretch. Yeah, this is a lot. After all that, I told him that we can't really predict anything until we've met with therapist. I don't want him to keep saying sorry. I want work and change, and then maybe we can move forward, but this is the first step. I don't want to just leave him. I'm also not saying divorce is off the table. I think he is still hurting from her death, and his judgment is very, very clouded. If he didn't love me, I doubt he would have apologized so many times and looked for counselors on his own. A man that doesn't love me probably would have made me look all rejected going altogether. Maybe many people were suggesting this. I do not think he doesn't love me. Thought of this myself, cried about it, thought of my children, cried more. I'm not staying for the kids. I'm staying because I want to at least try to fix. If it cannot be fixed, then at least I tried. We were also very close. Some people were asking how close we were prior to marriage. I guess as the way to gauge the difference between their relationship and our relationship, maybe to see if he settled. He was also very romantic, caring, and sweet to me. We've never yelled at each other. When we first started dating, he would plan dates, surprise me, brag about me to his friends. So that's why I am very confused on why he would blurt that, unless it was just very poor brain and mouth coordination. I also told him that I may get a counselor for myself. I don't think I need one. Someone suggested this, but I think he needs it more than I do. And because insurance companies are getting crappier by the year, 3 counseling bills may be pushing it. I don't know. If I do get one, it's because I don't want to potentially resent him or doubt myself. Some people were making attempts to make me doubt myself. Some people in the comments were very nasty to me. I appreciate Reddit hiding comments with many downvotes as they may be mean, but I couldn't help but click. Some of you are very mean and very nasty individuals, and I hope you find happiness one day. There could be another update in the future, not opposed to making one. Thank you all for your kind words and support. I've also responded to everyone that texted me, which was everyone there at the potluck that has my number. 3 people. There were basically 9 people there, not including us. They've all basically said the same thing. They can't believe he said that. They feel bad for me, asking if everything is okay, what he said was not okay, etc. He showed me some of the texts with him and his friends, and some made me cry with how kind they were being towards me, basically telling me he wasn't necessarily wrong for thinking that, but wrong for saying it. I told him I loved him as well, and I never not loved him even for a second, and that I wasn't angry with him and didn't want him to, I guess, suffer for what he said. But I was just hurt and needed him to know that if he did hurt me and if that it did hurt me, and him to respond how he saw fit, and we'd go from there. That is all for now. I could possibly answer more questions here if you have any. I tried to answer some and of the more frequently asked ones that I saw. Again, sorry for this being so lengthy. Have a nice weekend, everyone. Thank you again.
Okay. Well, they lived up to our expectations, and divorce has been brought up and on the table. Oh man,
That's just so silly. I don't understand why it's just all like, oh, so you want a divorce over this thing that just it like we were kind of talking about. I'm like, it was a little slip up. It's something
yeah,
that's on his mind because grief is horrible, and dead people stay in your brain.
yeah,
It's yeah, and she's just all like, oh, like this one felt a little more like he needs to be the one that needs to fix all this. And I'm like, her not saying, no, I don't want a divorce. I just want to work this out, but holding back to see what he said, to me, I think is wrong and slightly manipulative.
Mhm.
Because she's just all like, oh, well, what's he going to say? Because if he isn't going to invest in this relationship, then, she's like holding the cards,
Mhm.
even though maybe they have the same cards.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know.
Yeah. Just starting from the top, I kind of like to work at the beginning and then go through. So, like, the beginning when she raised that to him, the kids are gone, they started talking. She raised the issue, and that's fine. It's fine for a wife to be
Yeah.
like, this is an issue to me, and that kind of thing. But it, from all appearance, as she was describing it, he was immediately very apologetic from the
Mhm.
beginning, like, I'm so
Yeah.
sorry, I'm so sorry, I love you, blah 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 blah. And then as the discussion continued, it said that she kept going back to and
Yeah.
doing the scenarios
She's like,
like,
that's not good enough.
you said that and it really hurt me. He's like, oh, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. She's like, it's like you were saying to the kids, blah blah blah. It's like, oh, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. It's like, no, you
Yeah.
don't understand. You need counseling. It's just like,
Okay.
okay, at what point is his contrition okay as acceptable?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, yeah, and so I think
It's like, how long does he need to grovel before she's just all like, oh, okay, I forgive you. Now we can move on. But it's like, it became way bigger than I
yeah.
think it needed to become, really.
Yeah, and I don't know. I'm a little confused because it's like, uh, she she. Sorry,
No.
I got distracted by the words. Okay, yeah. So as they were talking and everything, like it seemed like she made it a rather big deal. Where she's just like,
Mhm.
yeah, we can't have the kids over right now. It's just like, well, I don't know. It's like a talk about your feelings. I don't think it should have been like, sit down, we need to talk whether this relationship's gonna work out. It's just like, it's
Yeah.
a little extreme.
Yeah, it went from like 0 to 100 really quick. It's just like,
Yeah.
dang, nothing. Like, it's like anything else. It's just like, oh, you said something that like hurt.
Mhm.
Like, that to me, I'm like, that should be happening probably on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Like, you're always constantly communicating with your spouse because your spouse is probably always hurting your feelings at some point. And you like talk about it and then you
Mhm.
work it out
Yeah.
and then you move on.
And I was thinking, so one other thing is, and this kind of goes back to, she brought it up, he apologized, and then now kind of the ball's in her court on what she's going to then do with the apology.
Yeah.
And so I was thinking about the biblical principle. It's usually what you're going to hear from the pastor when you get married, and they're going to go through First Corinthians chapter 13, and it's the love
Love is
chapter.
patient, love is kind, love is believes all things, hopes all things.
Yeah, endures all things and all that kind of stuff. And
Love
that's
never
exactly,
fails.
yeah, that's what I was gonna go off, is what you just quoted there. And where he said something, and then he admitted, he's just like, it was a stupid thought, I shouldn't have said it.
Mhm.
And on the wife's part, as she's hearing that, there's that portion that says love believes all things,
Mhm.
and hopes all things. So
Yeah.
in my thought, it's just like, what kind of intention are you believing that your husband was saying those things with? Are
Yeah.
you automatically jumping to the worst conclusion? Like, oh, he's like, intentionally being mean to me as he says these things. Or are you believing all things and being like, I'm sure he didn't mean that,
Yeah.
And so when he goes to apologize and clear it up and be like, that's not what I think, I don't think she was able to accept that.
Yeah,
And she
that's
was
what I
just
was
like,
thinking. I was like, I feel like when I was reading it, I was like, his apology seemed very acceptable
"Mhm,
to me. I was like, that's great. He's just all like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. And he's just like, I did think about it more. And it's like your husband is a human and he's going to
mhm,
make mistakes. And you kind of are going to have to understand that that's what you signed up for.
mhm."
It's like, that he lost his spouse. So it's just like, that's what's gonna come with this person, and for
Absolutely.
her to, like, expect anything else and, like, well, she already like, she understands, but I don't think she understands all the way where she's just all
Mhm.
like, "I'm not gonna forgive you. You're gonna need to get counseling,
Yeah.
and we'll talk about divorce later." And I'm all
Yeah.
like, "That's a little wild to me."
Yeah. I guess, yeah, exactly. I think, just maybe I'm wrong on this, I don't know. But to me, counseling is needed when there's a difference of opinion. It's just like, you're seeing things one way and I'm seeing things a different way. And if I'm like, I don't get you, you know, but it seems like he's getting her. He's just like, I
Yeah.
understand. Oh, I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. It's like at that point, what is the counselor going to do? It bring him to a different way of thinking? No, he's already there.
Yeah, for her, she's just all like, I feel like she's being maybe slightly paranoid,
Mhm.
where she's just all like, he said that one thing. That must mean,
Yeah.
all of these other things that could be in the future
Mhm.
that maybe he just doesn't really care about our family. And I'm all
Right.
like, yeah, like you were saying, this is like, that's not the believing all things.
Hmm.
That's not the
Hoping all things.
hoping
Yeah.
all things.
Or
Yeah.
enduring all things.
Or enduring all things. Yeah. To
Yeah.
me, I'm all like, as,
Love keeps no record of wrongs. That's another one.
yeah, it sounds like she just couldn't get over it. And she wasn't willing to actually forgive
Mhm.
him, even though he was apologizing and being very kind.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then I think it was rather unkind of her to be
Mhm.
like, well, I'm just going to keep this divorce over here.
Mhm.
We'll talk about it maybe later. I don't know. Do you think we need a divorce? And I'm all like, what is wrong with you?
Yeah. Yeah, and okay, so while we're on the counseling thing, I think maybe she does need counseling because she's like, I don't think I really need it. He needs it. And she did want
Yeah.
couples counseling, but she's just like, I don't think I need counseling for myself.
Mm.
And I'm like, oh, so you're not the problem, of course.
Yeah.
It's the other
There's
guy.
nothing wrong with you at all.
Yeah. And so it's like, that's the kind of person that doesn't need counseling because they don't think they do anything wrong, you
Yeah.
know? And I'm like, um, yeah.
And it also, unfortunately, when I hear about counseling, I'm all like, yeah, but what kind is it? Because I'm all like, for him, when he had the counseling maybe it wasn't actually helping him feel better.
Yeah.
Or maybe it did. And then he just, I don't think it's right for her to be like, you need to get counseling or our marriage is over, kind of thing. I think it was right for her to be like, I'd like to get couples counseling.
Yeah, that's good.
And I think, like, we talked about that. Like, if either one of us was like, we need counseling, we
Yeah.
would do it.
Absolutely.
And so I think that's right. But for her to be like, you need to get counseling, this is a you problem, I think is unfair because I'm like, he doesn't feel like he needs to. And to him, he's just like, I just want to move on. Like, to me, I'm like, she's just like, I'm going to keep bringing this up. But it's like, he just wants to, it's like, I'm sorry. I'll try to be more careful next time. Move on.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
It's like, if I was him, he's like, he probably always thinks about his dead wife and he probably doesn't want to and doesn't want to talk about his dead wife to a counselor constantly because then that just keeps
the wound fresh.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she seemed to have a problem with his demeanor after they spoke, where she's just like, he keeps looking at me, you know. But my thought is, I know exactly what is going on in his mind, is because like I've said stupid things to you, like heartless things or whatever, and we've talked about it or whatever, and I'm so like, like inside as a man, you're like, shoot, I said something and I wish I could take it back, but I can't take it back. And then you're like, you don't know what things are okay to say. You're like, because I could say something that I thought about and I think this is an okay to let these walls down and share because women want to know their husband's feelings, but also be careful because women are also not 100% on board with hearing their husband's feelings. So you, as a guy, it's just like, I can say certain things, but maybe certain things I should just keep in here because they shouldn't be out.
Yeah.
And then so he like keeps looking at her and he like he starts to say something and then he doesn't say it. And she's just like, what is he trying to say? He wants to leave me or whatever, and
a lot of processing for him. He's probably looking at her because he's just all like, first of all, he's thinking about, like, does she really want to divorce me? Probably.
Yeah.
And then it's just like you were kind of saying, it's like, should I say something? He's like, well, what if I make it worse?
Right. Exactly.
And so he doesn't want
exactly
to.
it.
And then, or maybe he's just all like, dang, I really care about this person. I don't want to lose them. So,
yeah. I think that's the mind of a husband who is trying to make it better, is like, will I make it worse if I say this thing?
Yeah.
And that's hard. Like 100%. It's hard, Yeah. And we had a talk actually a couple weeks ago, just to be vulnerable here in front of the internet. But we were sitting in the truck and we were talking.
Yeah.
And I don't really remember all the context,
You're telling me your feelings.
I was telling you my feelings and I was saying like something similar. Like I sometimes am not sure, like I can't get it out because I don't know what is safe to get out there. It's the same thing for a woman, they're like, is if I let my fragile thing out, will
Yeah.
it be like smacked and cracked
Yeah.
and stomped underfoot? But it's just like, you're never sure whether you can trust the other person with this hard feeling that you're wrestling with.
Mhm.
And so it's just like, I would love to talk to you, but I'm just like, I'm not sure if I know what words to say because,
Mm.
and so I feel like that's just what he's struggling with. He's just like, he's trying to walk it back, but he doesn't know how, and stuff.
Yeah. It-
And she
It's
hasn't
a lot.
proved super trustworthy yet, in
Yeah.
handling these like very tender emotions.
Yeah, because to him, he's just all like, oh, like, yeah, I wonder what the environment is where he's just all like, I could never, ever
Mhm.
say anything about my dead
Exactly.
wife at all. And
Yeah.
so, and then he accidentally does. And then it's just all like, "Ah," and he's just like, okay.
Yeah.
And then so now going forward, it kind of sucks, but he's just like, I can never, ever mention her
Absolutely. Unfortunately.
or anything. And that's hard because it's so like, she's supposed to be understanding, be
Yeah.
like, because for it would be incredibly difficult if
Mhm.
I was in a relationship like that. But it should
Absolutely.
be like it's just all like, I want you to feel safe to be able to talk about your wife sometimes.
Mhm.
It's just like, and to me, it would also be me putting my feelings aside to
Yeah.
love and be there for my husband. Cause it's like,
Absolutely.
this hurts me, but it also is hurting him because it's
Mhm.
something. So it's just all like, it's just something that you would have to like have a lot of grace and mercy and compassion about.
Yeah. I
It'd
think
be
that's
hard, but it's just like, that's what you are, that's to be expected.
yeah. I think that's a really good kind of last word because I think it's absolutely true. It's yeah. Um Unfortunately, don't want to be too harsh toward her because we're not in that situation.
No, we're not.
We don't have a spouse that
And
had
she
passed away.
understands that she's never been in that kind of situation
Absolutely.
either.
But unfortunately, she probably shouldn't look forward to him ever sharing anything that personal again. Like
Yeah.
she's already proved that she's not a safe place for that kind of
Yeah. Well, and
to
it's
open
sad
up that
because
way.
she's just all like, go talk to a counselor about it, not me.
I
So it's
know.
all like, oh,
I'm all for counseling, but that's a really good point. It's just
yeah.
like understand that you as a spouse hold a position that an intimate position that no counselor is ever going to have.
Mhm.
You are to be the person that your spouse can come to anything with about to come to you about anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't abdicate that role and say,
Yeah. It's
"Oh,
like, I
go
don't want to
talk
hear
to a
your problems.
counselor
Go
about
talk to a
that."
counselor.
Yeah, no, no, that's bad. Anyway, so but I'm glad they're going to do counseling because the couples counseling I think
Yeah.
is
I hope
key.
they do the couples counseling because it kind of sounded like she's just like, I'm not going to do counseling. He could
Yeah.
do counseling, but it's just like, you're going to do couples counseling?
Yeah. Yeah. So, and hopefully if it's a good couples counselor then she will everyone's perception is going to be shifted through there. So,
Yeah. All right. Next.
okay, hopefully not as depressing.
They're all
Oh
going to
no,
be
this is gonna be
depressing.
just as depressing. Okay.
They're all going to be depressing, guys. Sorry.
All right, viewers, we're on to the next one.
Next.
And while these are sad, a brief break about biblical things. The book of Ecclesiastes says,
Mm.
it is better to go to the house of mourning than to the house of feasting, and to contemplate death than to just, be in a perpetual party, that kind of stuff. So
I love
while these are
Ecclesiastes.
sad, they are good because we were just saying, like, this makes us appreciate each other more and
Absolutely.
that kind of stuff because
It
these are
gives
heartbreaking.
you a perspective on life where you're like, wow, you don't know what you have until it's gone.
Exactly. Exactly. So, um, get ready to enjoy another very, very sad thing. Am I the a hole for ignoring my wife after throwing away my late wife's videotapes? Okay.
Yeah.
I am writing this because I don't know what to do. I have a daughter with my late wife. Her name is Eleanor. Her birthday is coming up in 2 weeks, and she's turning 18. Background: me and my late wife, Chloe, had been dating since college. We got older and ended up getting married. And after we got married, she shared the news that she was pregnant. And her and I are very excited as this was our first child. Since it was our first child, we bought a video camera and made little tapes, little snippets of her whole pregnancy. Wholesome things like us joking around or having lunch or talking to our unborn child through the camera. We made a promise only to show Eleanor her tapes once she turned 18 on her birthday. Fast forward 2 years after her birth, Chloe passed away due to a drunk driver crashing into her car as she was coming home from her mother's house. This devastated me. Uh, And after her passing, I went into a deep depression. And uh, due to, having to have to raise our 2-year-old child all by myself. That's so sad.
That's really sad.
My friends tried to get me out there again and start dating, but every time I did, I felt like I was betraying her. Years later, when Eleanor was 13, I met Wendy. We met at a gathering for my sister's birthday, and we instantly hit it off. She didn't mind that I had a daughter because she had 2 kids of her own and was going through a rough divorce.
Oh.
2 years after we got married, now back to the present.
A Reddit divorce.
Yeah.
What was the story?
Yeah, seriously, you want to hear this. No. 2 years after we got married, now back to the present, Eleanor's 18th birthday is coming up. And I kept all the tapes for me to show her on her birthday. Mind you, her mother died when she was just 2. So Eleanor doesn't remember her touch or her voice, and I was excited to show her the tapes. And a week ago, I was talking to Wendy about it, and I noticed her expression go from happy to looking a bit uncomfortable. Wendy would always look uncomfortable when I talked about my late wife. Now, I didn't say things like, why can't you be like Chloe? Or Chloe was the only one who was supposed to be my first love. But I would talk about her in a way that would give my daughter a mental picture of how her mother was. So Wendy has always talked to me about Chloe and how it made her sad that she could never be like that. Chloe was a model, then starting to work in a fashion career. And don't get me wrong, she was a really beautiful woman. While Wendy had 2 kids in college and, in her words, not in the best shape. I love both women how they are. And I've never had a preference, but I feel like Wendy is gaining some jealousy toward Chloe. And I told Wendy that I love her just the way she is. And she broke down crying. Okay. Next day, after that incident, she came up to me and apologized for the way she acted last night. I told her it was okay and it's good she felt comfortable to share her feelings. I gave her a big, tight hug and kissed her on the forehead. She asked to see where the tapes were at, and I showed her the box of videotapes that were in my late wife's closet. Things were going fine until yesterday morning. I looked for the tapes because I wanted to put them in a prettier box for my daughter. And when I went to go find them, the box wasn't in my closet. I looked everywhere to the point I walked downstairs to see my wife laying on the couch watching TV, and I asked her about the box. And she told me that she threw it away with a neutral expression on her face. My heart dropped, and I asked her, what did she mean? And she told me that I talked about her too much and that I need to move on with my life. So she threw them away as a head start. Ooh, I was fuming with anger because not only did she throw away what I had left of her, she threw away my daughter's big surprise. Oh, man. We quickly got into an argument, I'll bet, and she noticed how angry I was, so she started apologizing. It got to the point where I started crying and locked myself in our bedroom. It's the morning, and I'm writing this in my office, going through my computer, finding old files or any type of video that my late wife of my late wife to give to my daughter, because sometimes my daughter still cries and that she never got to meet her mother. And I really thought that this would bring her close to her. I've been ignoring my wife for the past day, and she's been texting me nonstop about how sorry she is, but I just can't look at her right now. It's getting to the point that our mutual friends are texting us to accept her apology, texting me to accept her apology and get over it since Chloe died over 10 years ago. Ooh, they're making it worse. But I'm trying to ignore them all because they never had someone so close to them die. I've been working on finding these files and am starting to think I was overreacting. I don't know what to do. I really need help. That is hideous.
That's so
Why you're
horrible.
crying?
I am. That's so awful because it's like I'm thinking it's like the wife was being so selfish.
Yeah.
That's so awful to like rob the daughter of something that the only thing that she'll have left of her mom
Mm-hmm.
that was going to be a surprise that she didn't even know about.
Mm-hmm.
And for the wife to just be like, I threw them away. It's just like, that's messed up because you know, when she was just like, oh, where are they? She was already planning to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And I wouldn't be like, I don't want your apology. I want you to go find the tapes.
Yeah. Go dig through the dump.
I know. I'm all like,
they are.
go get them in the garbage.
Yeah.
Like, that's really messed up. And it's just all like, if you, it's passive aggressive, that's like, it's that like they had a talk, like, she's just like, oh, you know, I just feel really bad. And he's just like, I'm so sorry. I'm not trying to make you feel that way. You know, it's just like they had this like little thing. And she's like, show me where the tapes are so I can throw them away later. Like, preemptive tape throwing away.
Yeah. That was a premeditated.
That was a premeditated awful thing.
Memory murderer.
Yeah. No, it's terrible. Well, I'm so glad that he was able to like, it sounds like he was able to find some files.
Some, but not.
But I'm like, if I was him too, I'd be like, what garbage? What dumpster? Like, I would go find the tapes.
Yeah. Yeah, man, that's just
because like I can't imagine someone being like, let me throw away the one thing you had left of someone that you cared about deeply. Especially like, not only was it selfish on her part, it was selfish like against the husband and the daughter. It's just like, you have to, like we were already talking about earlier, it's just like you have to understand what you're signing up for when you have someone who was in a past relationship.
That's so
it's like you have to understand, especially with like the daughter. It's just like you get to be her stepmom. You'll never actually be her real mom. And that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
And for you to be understanding of that will make you a better mom, better stepmom.
Absolutely.
Because it's all like, you know, I'll never be your real mom. It's like, I'm so glad you have these tapes to be able to connect with your mom. Like, that's so messed up.
Yeah. Yeah, man, oh man. It seems like back to the whole like widow thing and marriage within after that, like there's got to be, I think it takes a lot of thinking for the person getting married to someone who's a widower.
Yeah.
To be you have to be able to be confident in your
new
relationship with them.
Yeah.
But knowing that the relationship they had was cut short and there's no kind of closure. I mean, it's even hard being married, I'm sure, to someone who's like a divorcee.
Yeah.
But no matter what the circumstance is, they had a relationship.
Yeah.
That you're marrying someone with suitcases full of baggage, and you can't just pretend like the baggage isn't there. You know, you can't just be like, let's chuck these suitcases out. So it's like, it doesn't work like that.
Yeah, it's like, where are you keeping those suitcases? Oh, yay.
Yeah.
Like, that is
walking.
So.
Yeah.
And he's just all like, oh, and she said it so neutrally, like matter of fact, like I threw them away.
Yeah.
It's like, you monster.
Yeah. That's
and
the
it
one
all
thing.
comes from her. Sorry, it all comes from insecurity on her part and her low confidence and stuff, where she's just all like, oh, if I throw these tapes away, then maybe I'm like,
Yeah.
you know, her thing, like her doing that was because she's just all like, I want, like, it's kind of so messed up when she's like, I want you to move on. And I started by throwing away the tapes. It's just like,
I gave you a head start.
It's like, that is not a you decision. That would be a we decision. And guess what? No.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I was thinking that whether it's mental or emotional or spiritual or physical wounds that somebody has, you can't heal them for them.
No.
So this was a horrific wound of being a widower, and she was trying to help by trying to do it for him by like, oh, you needed a head start, so I gave you a head start. You know, so it's like you weren't helping, you were hurting, you weren't helping someone heal, you were hurting, you're making the wound worse.
And like, he wasn't even acting in a way that was like, oh, I watch those tapes like every day. Like
Yeah.
he's just all like, these tapes are
They
for
were
my
in his
daughter.
wife's closet, you know, his old wife's closet.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're right. It's not like he was obsessing over these things.
No, he's just all like, I can't wait to give these to my
Yeah.
daughter because it's going to be something that she's going to be able to cherish
Mhm.
from her mother
Yeah.
because she's didn't get to know her mom.
Yeah. Okay, so here's a
Oh no.
yeah, it's kind of funny. I feel for this person. They're
Oh,
like,
man.
"Dear Lord." Like, I'm honestly not one to advocate divorce, but I don't think I could continue a relationship with someone who did something so wildly despicable. That is
Yeah.
not jealousy, that's a mental disorder. She stole the only vestige of your wife that your daughter would have.
Yeah.
This is not something you come back from, or something she can apologize for. This is a line in the sand. But anyway,
That's a go find the tapes in the garbage.
yes, absolutely. The
Like,
other
when
person
did
is
she
just
do
like,
that?
divorce is too kind. That's the other person.
Man.
Anyway. And then this other person added to that, this isn't even a mental disorder. This is cruelty. Her terrible behavior does not even deserve an excuse. She just threw away the only physical memories that this girl would ever have of her mother because she's jealous of a ghost.
You're jealous of memories.
Mm-hmm. The initial thing, am I the a-hole?
No.
Yeah, absolutely not. That's, yeah.
And he's just like, maybe I'm overreacting. No.
Yeah.
You
no.
bursting into tears and locking yourself in your room seems pretty appropriate.
Oh, man.
Like, oh, man.
Seriously, I'm like ready to ask this guy, hey, what dump was it? I will go there.
And I will find them. Yeah. I'm like, so how would you try and like fix this? Because to me, so he's already trying to fix it by trying to find some footage.
Yeah.
To me, I think I would, if I was the husband, I wouldn't I would care about my feelings, but I'd be like, you need to apologize
Yeah.
to
my daughter.
Eleanor,
Yeah.
the daughter. It's like, you are going to apologize to her and you're going to tell her what you did.
Yeah, that would be tough because I don't even know. I don't even know, because he could create just hatred and bitterness in his daughter for her. Like, that would be really tough to steward that in a way that would, because if she doesn't know about it, and it sounds like this was a surprise, so I would almost keep it from my daughter, as hard as that is. I don't know, but yeah, she would hate her mother, her stepmother forever for doing that. So I honestly don't think I would bring it up to Eleanor.
How would you salvage this?
Well, I think, first of all, what I wouldn't do is get divorced. Sorry, Reddit.
I know. I had Reddit on the brain. I was just like, oh, divorce. I was like, no.
Yeah, it would just go from bad to worse, to be honest. It's not like, oh, hey, it's all better. It's like, no, you haven't.
You would just have the
anything.
wreckage of another relationship on your repertoire.
Yeah, exactly. So that's how you would, I think, do more damage to Eleanor, is like, okay, now we're gonna rip this family apart.
Ripping another mom from you. Yeah.
Yeah, seriously. I would be like, so wife of mine, you know, you have, you need to do whatever I tell you. Okay, so we're getting counseling, you know, because you and I have a massive rift. You just betrayed me in every way possible.
Yeah.
So we're gonna, and you don't get the right to refuse. We're gonna do whatever kind of counseling that I want, you know.
Yeah.
So let's do that.
Because it's like, there's obviously some problems going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, she did betray him.
Yeah. I would honestly,
this
even
almost
if
feels worse than cheating. Almost.
Yeah, seriously.
I'm like,
seriously. Yeah. I would, even if it's been a little while, I would say you need to do everything within your power to get those back. So call the dump, be like, hey, I threw these away on this day, you know, where would they be now? You know, they might be like, oh, it could, you know, I mean, depending, I have no idea.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm
oh,
like, how
there's
soon
a
was
midway
this?
point,
How
you
yeah.
know,
Go find them.
go jump the fence into the garbage dump in the middle of the night and start digging through trash.
Yeah, because I'm like, she literally threw away something that was priceless.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like it's not something that you can just go out and I'll just buy new ones.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, but as the husband, I think he's doing what he should do, which is he's trying to find every video of his first wife that he can. I think I would probably be asking, parents and friends, like, any video you have of us back in the day,
Yeah.
especially ones where she was pregnant with Eleanor.
Yeah.
Anything you
Well,
have, try to re-put together something that he can give
something.
to her.
Well, it sounds like he was finding a little bit of something, but I'm
Yeah.
also thinking if it's videotapes,
Mhm.
I don't
You
think
should
there
have
was
digitized those a
smartphone
long time ago.
videos. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm like, I don't know if his friends or anything would have anything. I don't know how popular everyone had a camcorder and was recording all the time. But I mean, that would be a good idea if there was something out there.
Yeah. But yeah, anything he could find would be good.
Yeah.
But man, this is so terrible. Man, I feel like garbage. Yeah.
Dude, it's so freaking messed up. Is there an update? What happened?
Okay, so this is the small update. I did not expect this to blow up the way that it did. I came here, Reddit, to look for general advice, and now I have thousands of people talking to me in my DMs. I'm going to be answering some of the questions that I'm getting asked about the most. I was thinking about talking to Wendy about where the tapes are and where she threw them out at, so that I could go look for them. But I saw a comment that told me not to ask her because it might give her some time to hide it or to lie. But they're already gone. Anyway.
And at this point, I think she felt bad about it, too.
Yeah.
I'd be like, where are they? You're going to
Yeah.
find them or this relationship's over.
Yeah, I
But
think
not
time
really.
is crucial. Get to it as quick as possible.
Yeah.
Instead, when I got back home, I checked in the outside trash cans and the kitchen ones, and I still couldn't find them. Trash day isn't till Thursday, so I was confused. I finally went up to ask her, and at first, she wasn't going to tell me. Okay.
Yikes.
I threatened with divorce, like one of you guys said, and she gave in. It turns out she kept the videotapes in her car until trash day arrived. So she was still planning on doing it. Whoa.
She had said that she threw them away and she didn't yet. And she was still like, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean. And she was just, that is
dude.
diabolical. That's messed up.
Okay, maybe she should divorce. They should get divorced.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, that's messed up. Okay.
She's just like, I wanted to wait till trash day so that you couldn't find them in the trash to make sure that they would that preemptive, premeditated tape murderer.
Ooh, dang. Okay, so moving on. See, she said she was sorry, but she was not sorry.
She was not
she was
sorry.
Still sitting on them.
Same with when they had that discussion and she was just he like apologized and she's like, it's okay. Flames.
Oh boy. Okay, so sorry everybody. We couldn't contain ourselves. It was the first time we're reading this. All right. It turns out that she kept the videotapes in her car until trash day arrived because she knew that I would go looking through the trash. Now I have the tapes. Thank God. Yes.
That makes me feel so nice now.
Yes. Okay, we're happy. Another question was asked, when did Eleanor know about the tapes? No, I didn't want to ruin the surprise until I knew that I had a backup. Okay, so that's good.
Yeah.
That he didn't even tell Eleanor about the tapes.
By the way, your stepmother threw away the tapes of your late mom.
Dude. That's how you get your daughter to kill your wife.
Oh man.
Anyway, she doesn't know about them now, and I'm not planning on telling her until her birthday. The only problem is that I'm afraid that Wendy might tell her.
The tapes won't be safe.
Yeah, he's gonna have to guard them. You know what? Digitize them. Get a backup.
Seriously, I would take them somewhere. Yeah, I get them.
Or go rent a safe deposit box.
Digitize. Yeah. But like at that point, like with your marriage, it's like you need a safety. You need a safe.
Yeah.
to
Dude,
hide stuff from your wife because she's
Yeah.
crazy?
Yeah. Okay. One more question is people are asking if I'm considering divorce. I would imagine. Wendy never did anything like this before, and I don't want to ruin a 6-year relationship. This guy's got a lot of grace, let me tell you.
Yeah, that's amazing.
But at the same time, I really do think she needs some kind of help. I'm considering asking her to go to therapy, and I'm really considering our relationship. Wendy is really good with my daughter, and my daughter loves her and her children like family. I think Wendy is just trying to take Chloe's place with being Eleanor's mother. I really started to think she had an issue, and a lot of people also said if I don't divorce her, I will betray my daughter. I wouldn't go that far. My daughter is my number one priority, and I think I should find someone better that can respect not only me, but my daughter and her mother. Okay. So
I think the Wendy getting therapy would be a good idea because a reaction like that is not normal and it comes from a bad spot.
yeah.
Because she's just all like, let me move us on by getting rid of this in such a like wicked way too.
Yeah, that was weird.
Like she's just all like, oh, I'm so sorry. Well, and he's like, well, where are they? He's like, well, I knew you would try and find them. So
Dude.
I kept them in my car until trash day to
Sounds like
make
a
sure that
psychopath.
I would. So I'm like, I'm sorry, what?
Yeah.
You premeditated the murder of these Daves. You are guilty of murder in the first degree. I don't know.
And holding hostage
Yeah.
the tapes.
Like that to me, I'm like, I'm sorry, that behavior is really extreme.
Mhm.
And thinking forward, I'm like, are there going to be other times like this where you're going to do something nuts like that?
Yeah.
I wonder why she got divorced in her first relationship.
Yeah, gee. I wonder.
I am curious now.
Yeah, maybe he should have talked to her ex-husband and been like,
yeah.
Has she done anything
Like,
crazy
do you have any references?
to you? Hey, you know what? I don't know. I'm just saying, if you're marrying someone who's been divorced, like, is it wrong to talk to the ex? Like the ex? Like, I don't know if that's
I
out
don't
of
know.
the
You only
realm of-
believe what the divorcee
Yeah,
says
I don't know.
or the person that you're going to be with.
Yeah. I know that one thing, and this is from a Christian aspect as a pastor, what like our pastor was like, with divorce, you don't just like go through something. Like if you're going to marry someone, at least for a pastor, they are a counselor. So they're not just going to be like, oh, hey, you love you. Let's get married, and it's not like that. It's like, okay, let's talk about everything. Do you have baggage? Are you an ex-con? They ask probing questions and they're like, oh, well, yeah,
in a psych ward.
I'm not talking to my parents, or I don't talk to my parents. Like, oh, let's try to, what's going on, and so like, can we heal that relationship? Like, oh, well, I'm divorced. Oh, okay, let's talk about that. Let's see, can we heal some stuff to where we can move on with a fresh leaf and there's no craziness that's gonna come up,
Yeah.
So yeah, I as a husband, like not a husband, a future husband, if I was gonna marry someone who was divorced, I would let's say you died and I was marrying someone else, it's like I might do some vetting, talk to the ex. I don't think that's bad. I think that's actually a good thing because
I think it's a wise.
Yeah, because
you're like, okay, I'm going to invest in this
the
person
way that she is,
who's a psychopath.
Yeah,
sorry,
exactly.
loud.
Yeah. So anyway, wow. Okay, ready for update number 2. No, there's more.
One?
No, there's more.
There's more?
There's more. No looking.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Guys, this is very emotional. This is
a roller coaster for me over here. I'm like, oh, thank goodness. And now I'm like, oh.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so update number 2. It has been 1 month now.
Dang.
Things have been definitely changing. For anyone wondering, Eleanor's birthday went great. Yay!
Yay!
He preserved the tapes.
Yeah.
Especially without Wendy there to ruin it.
Oh.
Basically what happened was Wendy found my post and went crazy about it. Okay, sure, I get that.
Ooh.
She started accusing me of trying to ruin her life over something that was so little. And
And it was not little.
um
Premeditated tape murderer.
mhm. And the way she found out because her older sister saw the video or the story on TikTok. We got into an
Oh.
argument and she tried gaslighting me into being the crazy one and threatened to leave me and take all I own and
And burn it. Throw it away on trash day.
Yeah, right. And whatever she said, she then proceeded to go into our room and start tearing things down, trying to look for the tapes again. She's after the tapes.
Oh, she's a tape murderer.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry.
Oh my gosh. To guard the tapes. I pull her waist, trying to get her to calm down, but she took it as an opportunity to start breaking down, crying, saying that I hit her. Oh my gosh.
Okay, she was just crazy.
Mhm, yeah.
She hit it for a while, and
Yeah.
then it got real crazy real quick.
Yeah. Which I back off and just watching her as she tries to throw things at me. And now I'm reaching the breaking point because it's the day of my daughter's birthday. Oh, it's the day of her birth. Oh my gosh.
This lady has
and
problems.
and had a little time to get the dinner ready. Only had a little time to get the dinner ready because we had reservations. I was already ready and had to pick up Eleanor from a friend to go to dinner tonight. So I grabbed my keys and I left there, not having time for her to be acting like a child. And by the way, the tapes were at my mother's house. Good.
Oh,
Hide
thank
those
goodness.
as we were all going to go there after dinner and go through the tapes.
Oh, thank
The
goodness.
night went great after that, and me and Eleanor came home to a messy house with furniture and pictures all torn up. It looked like a bunch of 3-year-olds went wild in there. Wendy and her children weren't there anymore
Oh my gosh.
were anywhere to be found, and neither was her car. I already assumed it was Wendy who did all this. Plus, I had proof because I kept a security camera in my house. Ooh.
Ooh.
I tell Eleanor about everything that went down before her birthday, and she was
Dang.
shocked, to say the least.
Yeah.
That to know that the woman that she thought was an angel was actually a jerk. Long story short, we call the cops. Wendy gets arrested, but gets out 3
Thank
days
goodness.
later.
Oh, darn.
Now I am almost done with my divorce process. So Wendy, if you're reading this, have fun living at your mother's house and having a criminal record. I hope it was worth it. Oh my gosh, that was crazy.
Oh my gosh. So she was like straight up crazy. She was crazy selfish too.
Yeah.
Just straight up like, not only do I want to throw these tapes away in a very malicious way, I also want to ruin your daughter's birthday.
Dude.
Because it's not about me.
No.
And I'm going to trash the house
Mm-hmm.
to look for the tapes again.
Yeah. That's crazy.
There is something not right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think at that point it wasn't even about him moving on past his wife or anything.
No.
Like, this was weird. I think it was more like almost an obsession with Eleanor. Like, she was trying really hard for Eleanor not to see those tapes. Because she wanted to replace...
I want to be her mom.
Exactly. Yeah. I don't know. Something's really whacked with that person.
Yeah.
She's just warped.
Yeah. No, there are people out there that are just like that.
Yeah. So Reddit, I apologize. This guy should get divorced. I'm finally on your side. 100%. This person was not a normal person. Like, if you're in a situation like that, it's just like, no way. You're done.
At that point, it's so like he was also in danger.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah. If you're in danger, get out of there. Yeah. No way.
Because I mean, he probably after the tape thing,
Mhm.
He was just like, security cameras.
Yeah, he was pretty smart about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, he was still gracious about it too. He
Mhm.
was just like, okay, well, we'll try. And she's just all like,
Yeah.
I'm going to go nuts.
I'm really glad she finally confessed that they were in her car. Like he threatened divorce. She was finally like, okay, they're in my car. Like at least she
I
didn't
am
like deny to the point
so
where
glad he
yeah.
got those tapes.
Hmm. Yeah.
So glad, because I'm like, I am just blown away at her just, yeah, they're in my car. I wanted you to show me where they were so that I could grab them later. I hid them in my car
Mhm.
because I knew you would try and find them.
Yeah.
And then I was going to make sure to throw them away on trash day.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Eleanor's birthday. I'm going to trash the house and look for those tapes again.
That blew me away. She was after them again. Oh
I'm
my
all like,
gosh.
I'm like, yeah.
Like she's after the tapes again.
Tape murderer.
Okay, we need to move on. So, wow. Okay, that one's really long.
That was nuts. That was crazy nuts. Like, yeah, wow.
Okay, hopefully this isn't going from bad to worse. So hopefully we're going to be lightening the mood. Everybody, take a deep breath. Okay, calm. All right. You ready to read this next one?
Yeah. Oh man. So no, he was not the a-hole. And his wife was crazy. Am I the a-hole for cutting communication with my mom after she defended my daughter? I, 32 female, eldest daughter, have always had a rocky relationship with my parents, but even worse with my mom. Yesterday morning, I was making breakfast for my 7-year-old daughter while she FaceTimed grandma, my mom. My my daughter is the age where she knows she doesn't have to follow the rules if she doesn't want to. So when she left the phone unattended while she still had my mother on the line, I told her, I repeat, I told her, never even raised my voice. If you're going to watch YouTube instead of talking to your grandma, say bye to her and don't just leave the phone and walk away. My daughter is a very emotional person. She immediately started crying. My mom witnessed this and immediately started going off on me. She told me how inconsiderate I was and how dare I make my daughter cry so early in the morning. She said I was traumatizing my daughter. Being 100%, that's when I lost it. I was already mad at her for a different argument we had. So when she said this, I told her I was tired of putting me down and never hearing my side of the story. I hung up and in tears, I told her to not reach out to me again until she decides to take therapy. And then I blocked her. My siblings and I have told her multiple times to take therapy. She really needs it, but she always finds excuses to not do it. So, am I the a-hole for deciding my piece, sh- even if she defends her grandkids? A
Okay,
seven-year-old should not have a phone.
yeah, right. Okay, so I'm a little confused. So was the the mom yelling at her daughter, which is not her granddaughter, right? So her daughter, the
Yeah.
32-year-old.
Yes.
Um, it said that she witnessed this. What, online? Like she saw it through the computer screen, not in person, obviously.
Well, on the phone.
Oh, okay. Okay, so she FaceTimed grandma.
She was FaceTiming grandma, and then the kid was like, I'm done, and put the phone somewhere. And then she's just all like, hey, you need to like say goodbye to your grandma if you're just going to watch YouTube. And then the daughter was just all like, well, I don't want to because she's 7 and children don't have
Okay.
emotion regulators yet. And
Yeah.
then the grandma was just all like, I can't believe you're making your daughter cry and blah, 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 blah. And then because of something else that the eldest daughter had to face from her mom, she was just all like, that's it, I'm done. And then
Gotcha.
hung up and blocked her. And yeah.
Okay, weird. I don't know. I almost expected so I guess the grandma didn't mind that she was talking and this is like, oh, okay, daughter, like granddaughter
I
walks
know
off
she's
and
just
starts
hanging
like
out.
staring at a TV while you're like, okay, I guess I'm just sitting online.
I
I mean,
know, yeah.
yeah, okay. I totally get the mother 100% on everything because well, first of all, with the situation, like I think a grandmother needs to understand that the mom of the child
Mhm.
is in the parent role, which it's like good manners. It's like, okay, you remember that like you're having a conversation with someone, you don't just walk off. That'd be like if I'm just like right now. It's just like,
Yeah.
no, you're doing something. Be 100%,
Yeah.
attentive on this person, and then end the conversation, and then go do something. And
Yeah.
then it sounds like she calmly said that. Of course, this is from her side of the story, but she
Yeah.
calmly said it, and then she was defending she was being considerate toward the grandma, and then the grandma turns around and is just like, you shouldn't be yelling at your daughter.
Yeah.
And it's just like, that's weird. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. This story kind of sounds to me like I want justification for blocking my mom
Mm-hmm.
because I don't want to deal with her anymore. Which a
Yeah,
lot of
that's
people
true.
go through that.
Yeah.
And it's all like, no, you don't get to just block your mom because she makes you upset all the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so she's like, being 100% honest, that's when I lost it. I was already mad at her. So it's just like, okay, so you've got issues with mom.
Yeah.
This isn't 100% about your child.
Yeah.
So
It was
okay,
just a
sure.
catalyst into, I want to block my mom and not have to deal with her anymore.
Yeah.
And it sounds like all the siblings are all like, if mom got therapy, it would all be great for us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But
Yeah, so she was just like, then I told her, I'm tired of how you're always putting me down and never hearing my side of the story, even though she was there to witness it. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It's just like, I think what she should have done is she needs to have an honest conversation. Hopefully that can happen. But to be like, Mom, I'm trying to parent and I'm trying to instill good qualities in her. Like what you just witnessed was me actually trying to get her to build her character.
Yeah, to get her to be respectful too.
Absolutely. And it's just like, I know she's emotional and I don't want to see her cry, but she is, it's going to happen because I'm trying to build these things in her,
Yeah, this is a very classic scenario between grandparents and parents.
Grandparents overstepping boundaries. Sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead.
Yeah, grandparents overstepping their boundaries in parenting, like not making that disconnect. It's like your child is an adult now, actually with a family
with a baby of their own.
Yeah.
And so they're going to be making the decisions. And I mean, like, if they ask for your opinion, give it. If, and other than that, you just have to be like, they're going to have to figure it out themselves.
Yeah.
You're just there to be moral support, really.
Yeah.
And like,
and encouragement to your poor daughter who's trying to parent well.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like it's not your place to rip your daughter apart in front of her kid.
Yeah. So what, I'm just kind of thinking, like, what should a grandparent do? How can they, because I think through age, you become a little bit softer on things, because like the first child, you were the oldest child. I was the baby of the family. Yeah, I never
got all
got
that attention.
I never got chastised. I was just it's great. But yeah, your parents, like, you were the practice child because you were the first one, and so they're like trying to like no, you can't watch SpongeBob. That's a dirty show. And then you you got all the hardest things, and then now you're watching the younger kids. Yeah, and they're like, oh, they can watch that, whatever. Yeah, they can have a tablet.
They want. I'm all like,
you're like, I didn't get any of that.
I didn't get that. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And so, but I think so she's just like, oh, you don't have to be mean to the poor 7-year-old. And then
which is so frustrating it's so frustrating as the mom, because she's just all like, I'm trying to teach my child something and you're telling her that her mommy is dumb, you know, kind of thing. Like, if I was the grandma, specifically in this situation, if I was the grandma and the kid is just like, oh, remember your mom said you're supposed to like reinforce, like, your mom said that you're supposed to say bye to me. Are you going to go watch YouTube? And then she's like, oh yeah, I am. Cause I mean, she's also 7. So it's just all like, are you going to go watch YouTube? It's just like, yeah, I am. It's like, okay, well, bye. Remember, we're going to say bye. And then I'll talk to you later. Done.
Yeah.
Like, easy.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, so just real quick, what the grandma could do that would be helpful for the mom is to be like, affirm what she was trying to do, and that was to instill good values. It's different if she's just going in there and like spanking her for, dropping a goldfish on the carpet or something like that. It's just like, then the grandma might be like, excuse me, that's not right.
Harsh.
You're being hard on her. But this is different. It's just like she affirmed what she was trying to do, still instilling good character, and then be like, can I give you a bit of advice on how to go about that to where it won't cause her to break down in tears. Like I
Yeah.
raised kids, like if I give that advice, is that going to be accepted, or I can back off and just let you be,
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
Just like,
Have those expectations like talked about
mhm,
before, you know, it's like, okay, we're having
absolutely.
kids. This is what
The boundaries, can
these are
we,
the
yeah,
boundaries, these are the expectations, you know, kind
yeah.
of thing. And yeah, I think, and also understanding where your child is developmentally too. It's just
Mhm.
like there's a certain age where
She's
emotions
gonna be bursting into
are
tears all the time. Yeah,
so big and they have no idea how to
yeah,
control them and how to regulate them
yeah,
because they're a child.
yeah.
So you are the one that needs to be like, "Oh, we're really upset right now.
Right.
Let's go sit and talk about it. You don't want
Mhm.
to talk right now?
Totally.
Take some big breaths." You know, like
Yeah,
little stuff like that. And it's like,
absolutely.
you know, and I can tell that maybe this mom's just like, "Oh, my daughter's so emotional." And I'm like,
Mhm.
"Yeah, she's 7."
Yeah,
It's like
yeah,
I think
absolutely.
sometimes parents don't understand, like they don't understand the expectation, like they put expectations on a child that's just
Mhm.
like they are just mentally not there
Yeah, yeah,
and
and to be honest,
emotionally
the
there.
grandma has advice that would be good to listen to
Yeah.
if she could give it
If
in
she
the right
was
way.
being actually helpful, because
Yeah.
it sounds like this to me is just all like, I can't believe you're making your daughter cry, blah, 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 blah. You know, it's just like,
Mhm.
that's not helpful.
Mhm.
That's not constructive.
Yeah.
It's just all like, oh, you know, if she saw the daughter putting the phone down, be like, oh, remember, we're supposed to say bye. And then
Yeah.
and then you just go, bye. And then you hang up and
Yeah.
then done. So
Yeah, exactly. So, now that we took the grandma side, no, yeah.
the
No,
mom
now we
side.
took the mom side. Let's turn around and totally not take her side, because blocking your mother and being like,
Yeah.
"You're not seeing our family until you get therapy." It's just like, okay, okay. Yes, boundaries need to be put in, but
Mhm.
you don't get to cut off your family.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, that's not good. That's not good. It would be good to, very
Especially
patiently try
over
to work
something
with.
like this. It's
Yeah.
like that's not,
Yeah. And obviously there's more than this. She's like, I was already mad at my grandma for
yeah, for
many
something
different
else.
things. But no, that's not good.
Is there ever a case where cutting off your family is acceptable?
Not cutting off, but well, I don't know. See, I have a pretty mild family relationship because, we are Christians and we don't have crises, just pouring out all over the place.
Because I can say that there are certain situations where it's just all like, I think I need to just
Distance is
not,
fine.
I need
Cutting
to,
off is not, in my
yeah,
opinion.
I think there's a like,
Yeah.
I just need to not be a part of your life.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry,
Yeah. Let me
kind of
let me
thing.
back it up. Okay. So, if you have a parent
Mhm.
who is a serial killer and you're afraid they might kill you,
Blocked.
yes, just hide from them.
Yeah.
If you have someone who's like legitimately you can't have
Abusive.
around your children because you're
Yeah.
like, I don't trust you around my children,
Yeah.
for legitimate causes, then yes, absolutely, it's just like you could be careful with that and be like, well, I can sometimes be around you at a very very far distance.
Mhm.
However, I'm sorry, you're never going to be around my children.
Yeah.
Um, or they're a super bad influence. They're just like, here, Johnny, here's a cigar. It's just like, whoa.
You're like, "Okay." Well, and then
So,
at that point too, like there's different levels. So it's just like, okay, with that
mhm.
example where it's just all like grandpa's giving Johnny a cigar,
Then I'd be
you're
like,
all like,
grandpa, please.
well, then it would be like, okay, you don't get to be left alone with grandpa.
Yeah,
You know what I
seriously.
mean? Or there's just all like, okay, we're not gonna trust the grandparents to babysit overnight, you know, kind of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Or it's
But
just all
here's
like
what I
they need
don't
supervision.
like. So grandma, let's just say she has a good relationship with the granddaughter, then don't use granddaughter as a bargaining chip with your own
Yeah, as a
relationship with your
token.
mom. It's just like,
Yeah.
no, you're being manipulative. You're like, you know what you're
Mhm.
not going to do? You're not going to spend any time with your grandchild who you love a lot because I don't like you. It's just like,
Yeah,
no.
because we have issues
Yeah.
unresolved.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not
So,
fair to the granddaughter.
mhm. Yeah. And what are the problems, honestly? Could you talk about those in a simple way and a respectful way? Be like, "Mom, I know that you love me, I
Mhm,
know that you care for me,
mhm.
but what I honestly feel like is that you are overstepping the boundary of a grandmother because you do interfere in my parenting.
Mhm.
Is there any way that we can go forward and have you very involved with us, but for there to be some boundary lines that you know you shouldn't cross?
Yeah.
And can I tell you what those boundary lines are for us, you know? And
Mhm.
is there any space for that kind of conversation? Because that would be great if there was,
Yeah,
you
it
know?
would really, really would be.
Yeah. But there's so much, it sounds like there's so much emotions
There's so
where she's
much
just like
pride.
bitterness and then probably passive aggressiveness and all this kind of stuff between her and her mom. So,
Yeah, that sucks. And family's hard.
yeah.
You don't
I
get to
just,
choose them.
one thing I was kind of laughing at is
Oh.
Reddit,
Oh
right over it's
boy.
like related answer. Advice on cutting communication with a parent. Cutting off communication with a parent can be challenging and emotionally taxing decision. However, there are for some individuals, it is necessary to take that step to protect their mental and emotional well-being. Here are some succinct guides and advice from Redditors who had to
Oof.
navigate this difficult process.
Oh
It's like,
no. Here's the
what
world's
the
advice on how to be selfish and only care about yourself and never ever try and redeem any relationships because you're the one that's the most important. Any funny comments?
Why is your 7-year-old allowed to not follow rules? I'm praying that was a typo.
Sarcasm.
Yeah. Am I the a-hole for telling my wife that if I waited for her to make memories with our son, we wouldn't have any?
Oof.
Okay. Last weekend, I, 39 male, helped my son, 14 male, dye his hair purple. Oh boy.
Fun.
Or my good friend who actually knew what he was doing dyed my son's hair while I was there for music requests and fetching objects. It was such a fun day, and I could tell how happy it made my boy.
Aw.
I didn't tell my wife before we did this, and
Uh-oh.
that was the catalyst for the fight we are currently having. But for me, it was much more than just this one incident. Okay. My wife has been hands off with our child for a while now. His soccer games, little road trips to nearby amusement parks, back to school shopping. She's too busy with work or too
So is
tired
he
from
a
work.
stay-at-home daddy?
Yeah, I don't know. Either that or they just have vastly different jobs and hers are more demanding.
Maybe.
So I've been mostly just stopping having those conversations. Ooh, there's tension.
Yeah.
Why would I waste my breath to have the same conversation on repeat? The night we dyed his hair, she started crying while we were talking, saying that we were making all of these memories without her. That's really sad.
That is really sad.
I asked what she expected me to do. If we waited for her to make memories, we would be sitting in a dark room 100% of the time. my
Oof.
my son isn't even really comfortable with her anymore. Yikes, this is terrible.
What happened?
Seriously.
What kind of job is this?
Seriously. There's no, I can't take you, go ask your mom. Now it's, I'm sorry I can't take you. Let me see if friend has a free day. So yeah, yikes. It's not like, it sounds like she's not very involved at all. And he's outsourcing to his friends to
Instead of
fulfill a
to
role that his
next
wife is too
parent.
busy for.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yikes. My wife isn't speaking to me now, and I'm wondering if I took it too far. Well, that's a terrible thing to say. Anyway,
Yeah.
I don't know. I was hoping some brutal honesty would start making some changes. I would have loved having more kids, but I guess it's for the best now that she said no. Well, that seems like a totally different conversation. Having more kids.
Yeah.
Sounds like he's kind of referring to a part of the conversation
Mm.
that we're not privy to because he hadn't mentioned anything about this before. Edit. I'm a stay-at-home dad. Okay, you were right. The original plan was for me to start working again when our son went to kindergarten, but my wife was gunning for a promotion around that time and asked me to stay home longer. Once she got a promotion, her hours increased, so that time was extended once again. I am responsible for all the household chores and general homemaking tasks. I cook, clean, and do all the yard work,
Mm.
all the grocery shopping, etc. I do enjoy being a stay-at-home dad, but I've been ready and willing to rejoin the workforce for a decade now.
Mm.
At this point, I will be getting a job when my son turns 16 and can get himself to and from school. But my wife still refuses to cut her hours, even if I do get a job, and gets frustrated every time I bring it up. There's no point in me forcing my son to ride the bus or figure out a ride for himself if my wife still won't make any effort or compromise in order to spend time with him. All right, so that's it for now.
So it sounds
Yikes.
like a lot of conversations needed to happen, did not happen. And
Mhm.
also, I wonder, he's just all like, she's been kind of standoffish and stuff. I'm like, I wonder if she suffers from like postpartum depression really bad and like just shoved herself into her work and was like, being, a mom is terrifying. I just want to work. And then it's just
Yeah.
like, oh, he also maybe sounds like a family man and
Mhm.
they didn't talk about that and
Yeah.
stuff. So that's really hard because it's so like there's that part of her that is just like, "Ugh, I want to be a part of these memories, but
Mhm.
I'm not willing to do anything to actually make them."
Yeah.
And then I think that they got colder and colder and colder towards each other when they should
Yeah.
have been talking more and
Mhm.
making decisions
Mhm.
and compromising and being able to move forward.
Yeah. Yeah, I think one of the things I feel like they're falling into a trap that a lot of people make, and that is that they've kind of made it in a sense, like this thing is being aired because of the child's
Mhm.
and it's all like, hey, you're not spending time with our son. I'm spending all
Mhm.
the time with their son. Nowhere in there were they talking about their closeness. And if you
Mhm.
make your home a child centric home, it's all about your child,
Mhm.
then uh that's not the point of where you guys should come together, because what
Yeah.
happens when the child grows up and moves out, you're like, who's this random stranger that I'm in a
Yeah.
marriage with?
That's what it sounds like
It's
it's
like,
becoming.
yeah, it does the child great comfort and goodness if they see that they as a child are not the first priority. When they say
Mhm.
I'm second priority because my dad's first priority is my mom, and my mom's
Mhm.
first priority is my dad,
Yeah.
and I'm second or third or
Yeah.
fourth
Their
or whatever down the
priority
list,
is each
where
other, therefore it creates comfort for me
absolutely
as the
it's
child.
stability.
Mhm.
Because what happens is they see their parents not even have a real marriage. They're like,
Like,
yeah, my parents aren't even in the same room,
that
most
must
of
be
the time.
brutal for that child because he's just all like, it progressed so much to where he's just all like, my mom isn't a part of my life where I feel uncomfortable around her,
Yeah.
and to where she's not even next parent. My friends
Yeah.
are.
Yeah. My friend is. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
crazy. Um,
It's, oh, sorry,
mhm,
Billy, your mom can't take you anywhere ever. So go
yeah.
ahead and try and find some some
Yeah.
ride from your friend.
Absolutely. And okay, so this is one thing where I think they're also they're both like they're the 40s, midlife crisis. But
Yeah.
yeah, where it's really possible, and male or female, I'm about to say something controversial later, but I'll first,
Mhm.
before we get there, whether it's the wife, whether it's the husband, the over obsession with your career will kill your family.
Mm.
I don't care who you are, your family
Yeah.
is going to go down the tubes if you treat your career as priority number one,
As your child.
and then maybe your child as priority number two, and then your
Mhm.
husband or wife as priority number three. You're not going to make it.
No.
Um,
And I
yeah,
wonder, it makes me think, did she even want a kid in the first place?
yeah,
It kind of sounds like maybe she didn't.
yeah,
And then
exactly.
she just feels kind of bad because she's like, oh, I'm missing out on stuff. Cry, cry, cry. And then she's like,
Yeah,
back to my career, like
exactly. Yeah, she's obviously cut up
medicating
about it.
her bad feelings
And
with
but
work.
yeah, you can feel sorrow, but that sorrow is no guarantee that it will force you into changing.
Mhm.
um it's like that's a fake sorrow. It's just like you feel bad about it, but
You
you're
feel
you're not never
guilty,
going to remove yourself from
but
that
not.
position.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You feel
a
bad because
true.
someone's making you feel bad, but
Mhm.
not because you feel bad because you're like, "Oh, I should be doing this thing,"
Mhm.
you know?
Yeah, exactly. In fact, there's a Bible verse that says, "Godly sorrow produces repentance."
Mhm.
There's a worldly sorrow which you just sit in your situation,
Yeah.
and so, yeah, godly sorrow will never have that situation stay the same forever. No, no way. So
Yeah.
okay, now I'm gonna say the controversial thing. Okay, we're Christians. We have a biblical worldview. Um, this is something that my pastor said, our pastor, um, and he was talking about when we were having pre-marriage counseling,
Mhm.
and he addressed the thing about, he's like, well, do you, Lilac, have, career aspirations? And
Mhm.
that's fine, obviously. And you're like, well, I just kind of want to be like a stay-at-home wife eventually, have kids, that kind of thing,
Yeah.
and it's great. And then so, there's some practical stuff. He's just like, Josiah, do you feel like you can have a career to where that's possible?
Mhm.
And that and the what we would get into would be different if that was a different case. You'd be like, oh, I
Yeah.
really
And
like to
we
work.
have been blessed to where we are able
Yeah,
to be in that situation. I
absolutely.
understand that not everyone is able to do
Absolutely,
that.
100%. Like if people have need double income and all that kind of stuff, there's a
Mhm.
difference between wanting double income and needing double income. That's
Yes.
where the rub is, really.
Mhm.
Because if you then outsource your parenting because you're like, well, I would rather. I mean, I feel more fulfilled personally if I'm working a day job.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, that's a serious issue between you and your yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
um, however, and he asked me, are you okay with working? I'm like, obviously, no
Yeah.
problem.
You're a
Um,
hardworking
you're
man.
so sweet. However, quick pause. He did say, and I agree with him 100%. He's just like, because I might have asked a question about a wife working, and he's just like, in my experience, I find that when it's reversed and
Mm.
and she's just like, "Well, I'm expecting to have this great career trajectory,
Mhm.
and in order for that to happen, if we had kids, well, I would have my husband be a stay-at-home husband."
Mhm.
He's just like, "We are not wired from the Lord to be
Mhm.
that way,
Yeah.
because what happens is that causes tension down the road." This is exactly the tension these people are in,
Yeah.
because he's like, "Hey, I'd love to as a man, we are designed
Yeah.
functionally to work
Well,
and
I
provide."
I want to say that like the Bible specifically asks us to go against our nature,
Mm,
which is for a woman to be career woman, very
mhm,
decisive. We're going to do a really great job.
mhm.
And for a husband to be like, yeah, I'll stay home.
Yeah,
I don't want to work.
there's
That
the
sounds
lazy part of
great.
me that is like,
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah,
So it's just like
exactly.
God literally calls us to be
Mhm.
the opposite
Yeah.
because it's so hard. Like
Mhm.
we're going against the sin nature of like, yeah, I'll be a career woman. I'll go
Yeah.
get all that money, kind of thing. And like there's like we've said before, it's like there's nothing wrong with a woman having a career, but it's just all
Mhm.
like it's the
There's a wrong
call
for her preferring her career over her calling.
exactly.
Yeah,
There's the
as a
obedience
mother.
of like this is what
Mhm.
God has called me to do.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, there's a fancy word you could look up that's called abdication. I think I may have mentioned it. It's where you decide not to do the thing that you are meant to do. So,
Yeah.
like, there's a guy who abdicated the throne. He was, what is it, the Duke of something? I don't know. So England's complicated. Anyway, he was next up in line for the throne, or something like that. He was in the throne lineage where he decided not to do that because he wanted to marry a woman who that would
Mm,
not have worked. And
right.
so he abdicated his position to marry this woman.
Mm,
And well, that's very sweet and very romantic. Um,
right.
I can abdicate my role as a husband and like if we had a child, a father, and be like, I'm abdicating the responsibility that I
Mm,
have, and
mhm.
I'm gonna go do this other thing. I'm gonna pour myself into my career.
Yeah.
And she's abdicating her role as a mother and a wife, and she's outsourcing that. It's really sad. I mean, honestly, it's like
Mm,
a lot of people do that because, but you know what she's going to end up with? She's reaching for fulfillment, and she's going to not. She's destroyed
yeah.
her world, and so
Yeah, I
yeah.
think for like I think you already kind of said earlier was all like in any case, if your career can never be more important than your family, especially your wife and your kids.
Yeah.
Because like I've seen, the man who's the breadwinner, but it was a little too far, and his family is
Yeah.
neglected.
Yeah, that usually happens on the other side where he's put it in an inordinate position in his priorities, his career.
Yeah.
And you see all these countless wives who are like, "Oh my gosh, I wish my husband would actually be a father." So now I'm
Yeah.
having to be a mother and a father
You have
to
to
our
find that
child.
balance.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really sad.
It is really sad.
Yeah. Anyway,
Because the root of evil is money. And the
money is a root of all kinds of evil. And it even says that many people have perished thereby, where they're
Can you really
headed.
say that?
No, I did.
No, I mean like now.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
You re-say it. It was
The
your
root
thought to
of
begin with.
all evil
Nope.
is money.
No. Money is
right.
a root of all kinds of evil. Yeah. So say that.
Money is the root of all kinds of evil.
Yeah. A root. It's not the root of all kinds of evil.
The root of all money.
Oh my gosh. All right, let me say it. Yes, you're correct in saying that money is a root of all kinds of evil.
Yes.
Where many people have perished in the pursuit of money and their love for it. Wait a minute. Money is a root. I misquoted it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Evil is the roots of all kinds of money.
That's not right. Okay, everybody. Let's get the Bible straight here. See, this is a misquoted thing where people are like, money is the root of all evil. But that's not right. That's not what the Bible says. The Bible says the love of money
yes, that's what it is.
A root of all kinds of evil. That's what the true full quote. But see, it's so hard to keep in our minds. Anyway.
The love of roots is all money's evil.
Absolutely. Okay, moving forward.
There's an update to this one.
There's an update. Let me read it. Update for just to bring it all back into our attentions. Am I the a-hole for telling my wife that if I waited for her to make memories with our son, we wouldn't have any? Okay. Spending more time on Reddit to keep up on political happenings and whatnot has led me to remember about the account that I made a while ago. This one that we're talking about. So this is much later. He's returning. The divorce should be finalized within the next 2 months. Before filing.
Now I knew it.
I know. This is Reddit. Divorce is the first thing to go.
The update's always divorce.
It is. Before filing, I tried to get my soon-to-be ex-wife to attend counseling with me, but she always refused.
Oh, well.
Yeah. So at least he tried to do the right thing. The only real answer I have in regards to why this is happening was her finally admitting that she cared more about her career than being a wife and mother. Okay, there it is. Okay.
So sad.
Yeah. Our original custody agreement was going to be with me as primary custody and that he'd stay with her every other weekend. That has since changed. My son made it clear that he wanted to speak in court about staying with me full time. So she agreed to that without dragging him into speaking with a judge.
How sad is that? She's just like, yeah, that's fine. I didn't really want him on the weekends anyways.
That's just terrible. She can come see him whenever she wants. So far, she has visited once and called him a handful of times. I'm happy to be moving forward for my son's sake. I don't understand my ex at all. I've started going to therapy myself and try to wrap my head around the past few years. Her lack of any sort of motherhood instinct felt like it was bordering on psychopathic. Yeah. Finally, remember to be kind to stay-at-home parents. Yeah. I'm not one anymore, but the fact that my last post had to be locked because people were being so ridiculous toward me for that reason alone says a lot. They have the best job in the world, but also a very hard one. Thank you. Mm,
Dang. Yeah.
that's rough.
Like I said, I'm like, she just really never had the desire to have a child,
Mhm.
had one, got postpartum depression, and was like, I, because it like postpartum depression, I've
Mhm.
heard is actually like a hormonal imbalance.
Mhm.
And then she just like threw herself into her career and it was just like, this makes me feel awesome.
Mhm.
Bye, everyone. And it's like it was her idol to keep her alive, to make her feel like work can be an addiction,
Yep. 100%.
obviously, in this case.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so sad. Man, I don't even know what to say about that. But yeah, what he said about stay-at-home parents, absolutely. I think people are way too
Harsh.
keen to be to outsource their parenting.
Yeah.
I think the world at large is like, yeah, yeah, yeah. It's great to have both people working and
And
then
send the
to
kids to
kind of
school with
spend,
strangers.
yeah, and it's just like, hold on. Okay, if you want to really be biblical, and of course, no, of course, not everyone wants to be biblical. That's fine. But the Bible informs on how to have a godly, fulfilling, if you were able to follow the Bible to the letter, and we can't, we're all fallen, we all fall short. However, if you were able to do that, you would have the perfect life. You literally would. You would have no bad relationships.
Mhm.
You would have no issues at all. You wouldn't have, big rifts between your parents and
Yeah.
your children
Yeah.
and divorcing and all this crazy stuff.
Yeah.
We look at the, you know, paltry attempt to follow the scripture that me and my wife have done, and
Mhm.
we look back and we're so blessed. We're like, oh my gosh, our socks are blessed off. Uh, and and we don't do a great job at following the scriptures, but we make that our aim. And so yeah, when you see that, a wife, very controversial, stay home and fulfill your god-given result, your god-given responsibility of being a mother to
Mhm.
your child at home. Don't go working if your husband can do it
Yeah.
alone. I get it, not everyone's in that situation.
Yeah. There's always special cases. This
Yes,
is just
absolutely.
like the
Yeah.
fundamental, like, this
Yeah.
is ideally, this is what it would be.
Yeah. Yeah. And husbands, put your career in its proper place, which is at least fourth.
Mhm.
God should be your first priority. Your wife should be your second priority. And then your kids should be your third priority. And then guess where your career goes? Number four or further down the list.
Yeah.
Like, I would firebomb my career if my family needed that, truly. You know,
Mhm.
wherever my family's needs are, that determines where my career goes.
Yeah.
Um and at some point your career, which is the provision for your family, by the way, like it's
Yeah.
your monetary system, it can be an enemy that you then have to turn against and put in its place, because your career can try to usurp its position,
Yeah.
and take number one,
Mhm.
and you gotta put it back in its place. So
Absolutely.
yeah, the husband needs to go out, be a hard worker, be a godly parent and father, who
Mhm.
you cannot neglect your family. You have to be, you have to fulfill that place. It's a hard role, because you have to be a hard worker, you have to be a
Yeah.
loving, devoted husband, and you
Mhm.
have to be a great father and a godly example for your children.
Yeah.
It's just like, you can't do that all encompassing thing without the help of the Lord.
Yeah.
And so you
Because
also
some
need to be in
men,
submission to the Lord in all of that.
yeah, because I will say some men struggle with that more than
Absolutely.
others.
Yeah.
Because like I've known guys there that they can't hold a job.
Hmm.
And it's just all like, well, for you, that's the bigger weakness that
Yeah.
God has to help you with.
Yeah.
And same with like, this woman who's just like, I want a career. I don't want to have kids. They suck,
Hmm.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
It was just all like, that's going to be a little bit harder for you.
Yeah. A
And
lot of
God
that
has to
probably
help
should have
you.
been talked about earlier in
Yeah.
counseling, which he refused. So
That really
yeah, they'd be
sucks.
like, "Hey, wife to be,
Hmm.
are you
Do you
okay
like
with?
kids?
Yeah, do you like kids? Are you okay with being a stay at
Do
home
you
mom?"
want to?
He That would have ended
Yeah.
right there. and she's just like, there is no possibility I'm going to be a stay-at-home mom, then he would have been like, oh, ooh,
okay,
this is a problem.
yeah, our values don't match up.
Yeah, exactly. So it sounds like he ended up in that position. He's just like, hey, I don't mind. Well, he should have minded. Like, I would mind if you were like, husband, let's have kids, but I want a career. I'd be like, oh, that's so sweet, but we're not doing that.
Like,
yeah.
oh, no.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
So
Anyway, that sucks.
I'm sure most people just disagreed with 90% of what we had to say, but
that's okay. Let us know in the comments.
Yeah.
Rage baiting right here, right now.
Oh boy. Okay.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Let us know your thoughts and your feelings on everything that we've talked about. And sorry that this one's kind of a downer.
Yeah.
Well, tune in next time. Bye.
Grab some Kleenex tissues for your eyes. Bye.